Welcome back, folks. This is Reader Side Quest with Bookmarked by Jordy with another buddy read. We read The Three Body Problem by Cixin Liu. And it was actually translated by, I believe, was it Ken Liu?
Mm-hmm. The author of Dandelion Dynasty.
Yeah, which is super awesome. It is, I believe, a Netflix series or Apple TV. So we're like, you know what? Let's check this out. We've heard it's good. We were lied to. Just gonna say that out loud. We were lied to. I'm sure the show is great. We'll get into why we didn't enjoy this book. I'll collectively say it was kind of a miss for us. But let's find out why. Jordy's gonna tell us. And well, let's look at the cover real quick. Let's do our cover. Let's judge this book. I don't have it in front of me, actually.
I have changed my perspective of looking at covers with this book specifically because I didn't look at the cover too in depth until, by the way, spoiler warning, 3, 2, 1. If you're still here, we do all these videos full spoilers. So I didn't think about it until after just now. I do this every time. I don't think about it until we start talking. That pyramid is from the Three Body Game. And I think those are the Sophons. Yeah. I think those are the Sophons. So the cover makes sense after finishing the book, but if I had looked at it in depth before finishing the book, I would have been like, what is all this stuff on the cover?
The three sons are there too.
Yeah.
I think the cover looks cool.
Okay, what's a Hugo Award? And how do you win one, and why did this book win one?
It won one because it got the award compared to the other books.
Annual Literary Award for the best science fiction or fantasy works and achievements of the previous year, given at the World Sci-Fi Convention.
Bunch of nerds.
Yeah, I mean, the cover would make me want to pick it up and read it. I mean, it looks cool. Like if I'm judging a book by its cover, I'm, going to pick it up and read that.
Do you judge a book by its cover normally?
Sometimes.
I do.
I think we all judge a book by its cover because that's where the title is. That's where the blurb about what the book is about is.
It's an important part of the marketing too. Like you're here to market your book. If you're just slapping any old picture on there just because the cover doesn't matter, you're a dingbat.
You wake up tomorrow morning and every book has a picture of me on it.
I think that would
never read again.
Yeah.
And that was the day the world stopped reading.
Culture died.
It was a cool cover. I liked it.
Cool. We like the cover. I want to hear from Jordy first. Well-developed characters, our very first category. How are we feeling here?
You will hear me in every category say that I felt confused. No, the characters were all right. This is definitely not a character-driven book. This is more of a plot-driven book, even if the plot isn't all that great.
Tell us how you really feel.
Well, I'll tell you when we get there. But as far as the characters go, I mean, they were all right, but I can't think, I didn't connect with any of them. Can't remember any of their names. Not a single one of them.
One of my notes was, this might be the stupid American in me, but I really did not keep track of the names well, at all.
Yeah.
And I knew who they were based on what was going on around them, but their names I just could not keep track of.
The only 3 who I knew of, I guess I should say 2, maybe 2.5, Wang, Ye Wenjai, and the police officer whose name I only remembered when it came up.
It's like Dan Shi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dan Shi.
Yep.
That was it.
That's probably the only character I liked.
He was cool.
Yeah. Between Wang and Ye Wenji, they had half of a character development. We didn't get enough from either of them for me to consider them to be fully developed, but we got parts of both of them. We got a lot of her backstory, and not still didn't see a full picture of her character.
It's hard because I feel like even the character said that I think it was Wenji, who got married, was I don't feel anything for my husband. No, the characters had no emotion.
None.
At all.
It's really interesting. There's a lot of, this is actually not one of the areas I'm giving concessions. There's a lot of parts of this review I'm going to give concessions for this not being for me and for this being a translation and maybe that coming across weird. This category, I'm not really giving any concessions. The characters were just done poorly. So objectively, the characters had no depth.
They were kind of just a bunch of physics nerds with no emotion and just cared about the science. And that's exactly what this book was. And it sounds stupid, but they hit that cliche of, I'm a physics nerd and don't know how to talk to people. That's kind of exactly what these people how they interacted, and that was the whole point. And the whole 3-body game attracted those types of people and like other celebrities and stuff, but the physics people that they needed. So it just led to no character development because they were so dry.
Yeah. Yeah. Very. I have a lot of feelings, but for the characters, miss 0.5.
I give it a half point. I feel like that's generous.
Same.
I also, yeah, agreed. Half point because her backstory, but it still feels generous. So then from there into originality and creativity. Curtis, how do you feel about this one?
I gave it a point. I don't know anything else like this, although it might have been dry. It was one original, and I feel like what they did with it was pretty, it was, this is part of the next one too, but I mean, it was engaging. It just wasn't done well, at least for what I wanted it to be, which I think it's, again, a me problem. If you like super dry books that are super, super heavy into science and all like that jargon that goes along with it, you might like this. But if you're looking for just like hey, I like science books, I'm going to read this, you're going to have a sad time. But it was original, so it gets the point.
Yeah, like you can sum up what this story is about, like the main point of it, and it sounds really cool, but it's just not done well. And for me, there are people who love this book. I talked to 2 people this week that this is like one of their top books.
I don't want recommendations from them.
I just don't want to know them no, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
delete.
It's really unique. It's really creative. The whole idea was great. I have things about other categories, so since this category got a point, I'm gonna give it its point and let it lie. Let it lie. It was creative.
Then just segue into engaging storyline.
Okay. I wish that I had read some older sci-fi classics to compare this to, because I have a feeling that this might be like some of the like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s sci-fi classics. I wish I had read specifically Asimov, the Foundation trilogy, because I'm kind of getting the feeling that maybe some of the older sci-fis are like this. But I consider myself a lover of sci-fi, and the newer sci-fis I've read, none of them read like this. So I was not engaged, and a comparison I like to make in this one is Project Hail Mary, and I liked the pseudoscience in that. I thought specifically, we just read another book that did a lot of like sciencey, fake sciencey stuff. It was Rust-Colored Rain, actually. I liked the way that like science was looked at in Rust-Colored Rain, how she's like dissecting the parasite. I liked the way that science was looked at in Project Hail Mary, where they like really take the time to explain the organism and just everything. In this, it felt like I was reading a science textbook. And I was like, I'm not here to read a science textbook. It was just too much for me. So that led to me being totally not engaged. The story I was engaged like off and on. I didn't get a 0. I gave it a half point because I was engaged off and on, like in the world of 3-body. I thought that was cool. And then they decided in the last quarter of the book that they were going to dump the plot on us and actually give like information. So I was engaged at the end because I was like, oh, we actually are starting to understand what's happening. But the first half, I was like, what's going on?
It's a very dry first half.
So I gave it a half point.
Yeah, I felt engaged during it. I kept wanting to be engaged more than I actually was. But when we like hit like a cool part, I'm like, all right, I'm into it. But like you said, I feel like you have to go into this book with base knowledge. It's not just like an intro, like you said, Project Hail Mary, where all the jargon, like everything's explained in a way to like anybody can read it. You don't have to be even someone who likes science for it to be like, oh, I have to pay attention to this. Like it breaks it down pretty easily. This just doesn't.
Toothsucker by Caden Love's another good example. His like he did a lot of explanations of like the dental structure that make up your face, and it was like really interesting. He explained it, and the way that it was like presented all made sense, and I wasn't like, why do I care about this?
Yeah, I was talking with Parker and Jenna reading on Instagram, and she actually said like this was a book she loved, but she mentioned what you had said, Dakota, like she grew up reading that old science fiction. And she specifically said if you're not one who enjoyed and read that kind of stuff, that it might fall short. So she was right.
Look at that.
She was right.
Look at that. So I think all three of us gave it a half point there.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, like what Curtis said, that when I felt like a little all over the place, and you thought I was a little all over the place when I'd text, because I'd be like, oh, okay, all right, I'm getting into this. This is interesting. And then I'd be like, I want this to end.
Please make it stop. Yeah.
So yeah,
it very much had the feeling like it was about to ramp up multiple times, and then it didn't.
Yep.
What can you do? That was the engaging storyline. Jordy, tell us about the ending.
I mean, it definitely leads into a sequel. Uh,
Oh my god.
So let me tell you how this book ended. There's going to be another one.
There's gonna be another one. And people say that it gets better from here, and I will never know because I'm not gonna.
So what'd you give it for point wise?
What did I give it point wise? I gave it less than y'all did, a quarter point. I ended this book like I knew what was going on. The whole thing with the aliens, and now they want to smash humanity like bugs and blah blah blah. But I still felt confused. Even knowing what was going on, I was still confused.
Mm.
I don't know. I might just be an idiot, honestly, but that's okay.
Two things can be true.
Give me children's books, apparently.
Truth and a lie.
He's going to get the Brandon Sanderson children's books. We all want those. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was. I had a really hard time rating the ending, actually, because I was incredibly unsatisfied. And I was like, that's what we're getting. That's what we're calling like a completed book one. So like it technically ended and it's set up for the next book. And like, I think I don't have as much beef with the ending as I do as like with the plot and like the structure. So I half point because it ended, but
It got a quarter point because it was over.
So I gave it a half point because I feel like it set itself up for the sequel really nicely. I feel like this book set out and accomplished what it needed to do for a book one. It loses the half point because it wasn't satisfying for me because it was so dry, and I don't feel like the characters earned it because I don't know if they didn't win. Like, and that was the point too. Like there was the cool parallel with her going against what her country wanted and sending the message out to space. Like she wasn't supposed to, like she did it because she wanted her world to end. And it's the opposite with the aliens sending it because he doesn't want them to come, because he doesn't want them to end their world. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting way that they did that, I guess. I feel like it deserves, I think it was a solid half point for the ending, even though I didn't like it. I just think I didn't like it. I don't think it was done.
Yeah, that's where I landed too. I probably could argue myself into giving it more, like a higher score, but like being a little subjective, I just didn't like it. So the half point is like, well, it ended. I don't know what it wrapped up, but it ended.
Wrapped up the story and got us into the meat.
I feel like this book could have been a prologue or like a part one. Like this could have been a much shorter story, and this could have been like a quarter of an overall book. Like this could have been like a flashback explaining like how humanity got into the war with the Trisolarians or Trisolaris.
I feel like it still could have been I feel like it still could have been a book, but it could have been like a shorter prequel, right? Or like a novella or something like. But it just gave us a lot of stuff we didn't need science-wise. But I think that was that's just the writer's style, how they wanted to tell the story. It just didn't work.
So quarter point,
world building and setting. This was a tough one. I put yes, so I got to give it half point. But it over-explained too much, that the whole story was just flooded with garbage and jargon that just made me not care about it. Like, we got a lot of the information, at least. World building, I don't know. It's hard to even say because there's nothing I don't get. Just it's too much.
Yeah, the setting. I feel like we were actually lacking in the world building, and that the setting was too much. The setting was like a brain dump of like I didn't need the nitty gritty of the Red Coast experiments, like what each experiment was down to like this experiment did 1, 2, 3, 4. This experiment that was really dry. But then the world building of the Trisolaris, like it didn't. Humanity doesn't know yet. So that's like part of it is like the information isn't there, but that's like what I could have used more of in world building, right?
Yeah.
But there's also like, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Sorry, my last thing I was going to say, I think that humanity in the book is ahead scientifically of where we are. I would have liked to understand more like what the limits of that are. Like the 3-body game, definitely more immersive than we have. The flying blades, the nano material, definitely more ahead of where we are. Would have liked to understand more of what like the technological landscape of Earth was.
Yeah, and I think like they set us up for things to be like a mystery throughout the book, and then when we finally figure out what's going on, it falls flat. So for instance, the whole numbers things that was really cool. The guy seeing numbers in his eyes, the photography with the countdown, like all that stuff, like that's when I was in.
That was cool.
But we don't know what it is until the very end, and it's like a paragraph of just telling us. I would have rather see something happening. I would have rather have known what was going on the entire time and see the other side of how they're pulling this stuff off and pulling strings and how they're doing it. I would have liked to see more of the aliens than the humans, honestly.
Yeah.
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 Half point.
Yeah. Half point.
Half point from all of us.
Pacing and structure.
This is a rough review, boys.
I just feel sad reviewing it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
like you said, this is some people's favorite book. It did not work for me, so it's hard to be subjective. But at the same time, I feel like even the objective things are
Yeah, I'm trying to think of things we've read that are different and unique. And I would think that Dandelion Dynasty is unique in the style.
But it's also dry
done.
as fuck.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yes, yes, and yes. I'm just trying to think
Okay,
I
but
don't
hear
know,
me
I
out.
just-
So Dandelion Dynasty was dry as shit, and it was very deep in the details and world building in a fantasy aspect. This is kind of the same thing, but in a science aspect. So is it because
Dang.
we're not super into the science aspect of it and it's actually not bad and we just are haters?
Yeah.
Or is this book actually poo-poo caca pee-pee?
Two things can be true. Multiple things can be true here. Yeah, it's hard. I want to know who the target audience is and why. I'm finishing this book like I finished Catabasis. And I'm or Babel. And I'm I need you to explain the parts of it that I specifically had beef with. This is a different review. I'm not trying to actually debate with you right now, Jordy. I'm just trying to make a point that the parts that I specifically had beef with, I want to understand the opposite point of view of someone who really enjoyed those parts. So someone that really enjoyed the experiments being explained, why? And are you a scientist? And if you're not, if you're just a layman and you enjoyed it, why? Is it just your hobby? Or is that just you just found that entertaining? I don't know.
That's fair.
Maybe I'm not the target audience, but I want to know why.
Pacing and structure. So I thought the pacing was tough and it was buns because it was so dry that anytime it switched to something else, I was finally getting used to the part I was in, and then it would go to something else that I would have to either relearn or it was a flashback, but you wouldn't know till halfway through the flashback that we were behind. It was just, I don't know. But I will say, did enjoy the unique structure of it to where it was we had stuff in the past and then we jumped forward and then we went to the past again to explain the next thing before we see it type thing. We get to see the building of the thing before the thing. I don't know. I enjoyed that part. So I gave it a half point. So good on structure. Pacing was not. It wasn't. Who next? Jordy next. Jordy.
You or me?
Jordy.
You or me?
Jordy.
It's
Jordy.
Who's taking this one?
It's Jordy.
My note is maybe I should stop reading. No.
And then I never read another book.
It's when I would start to enjoy it, it would pull me to something I didn't enjoy. I don't know. I have a hard time with this category specifically because I don't know if it's just that I didn't enjoy it because I didn't enjoy it as a whole.
Give it the mood rate then. Just
I am giving it the mood rate, a 1/4 point. I'm pretty sure that's what I give.
Yeah,
here.
there you go.
I am.
But the whole time I wanted to quit this book. Every 10 pages I was texting, please let me quit the book. They didn't let me.
We didn't let you. And here we are.
Listen, he's a
and when I
serial
got to the
DNFer.
end-
We have to make him occasionally finish a book if he wants to keep his Bookstagram license. He has to finish a book now and again.
He went on trial before the Bookstagram Council, and they said, finish the body problem.
Now here we are. We get to hang out and talk
And
about this
here
book
we
together.
are.
You look thrilled
Here we
about it.
are.
I gave this one a mood rating 2 of 0.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I'll acknowledge my own subjectivity and immaturity here. I didn't like the structure. I didn't like the way that the plot was revealed. It felt backwards and disjointed. I think there's a way that it could have been written where the way that the reveals were done could have been executed on better in the revealing of information and doing things a little backwards, and you think that it's helping, and then all of a sudden you find that it's not helping. But I just didn't do it for me. I didn't enjoy the pacing, like you said, very dry. Pacing was it was up and down too. It was like Dandelion Dynasty was like a consistent. This was like pacing was like kind of all over the place. Fast, slow, fast, slow. Nuclear bomb. There's a mini nuke here. Okay, and now we're slow again. Like the mini nuke, and now we're going to tell you about photons and how we used photons to hack into human science and
We are
slow
gonna
down
take
human
this
progress.
photon and we're gonna fold it in half.
And then we're going to fold
in half
it again. Wait, don't go. You're going to get too small and we won't be able to find it anymore. Okay. So the pacing, very dry. The structure, I thought it had potential, but I didn't like how it was executed. And maybe this is subjective. Maybe I'm not the target audience. I'm sure that some people enjoyed the structure of this. I thought the structure was not great.
Wow.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
You guys are haters.
Hater.
It is what it is. Emotional
hardly know her.
impact, Dakota. Just roll right into it.
We already talked about this one in character development. This is one of the other ones that I feel like objectively, like we got really. The last one was a mood rating, really subjective. I didn't like how it was done. This one, I feel like, is relatively objective in that the characters were pretty flat. We didn't have like a lot of emotional range. She like kills her husband and her boss, and it's like, that's
Damn.
crazy.
Anyway.
They're dead now.
Well, they literally say there's two different characters that say like, "Oh, I just like am not emotionally attached to like, or I'm not emotionally attached to like this." They just say that, "Oh, I'm just typically not an emotional person," and then they just don't have emotion. It's like, all right, I mean, I guess you told me, so that's great, but nothing that happened. Even like the big eventful stuff, I'm like, nobody seems all that spooked about aliens.
It's very interesting because it's like the writer is an engineer, and so it's like you say, like it is very stereotypical like engineer feeling. Like if you know many engineers in real life, they can at times tend to feel emotionally flat. And
if you're an engineer, you're a piece of garbage. You have no
Hi, thanks for
emotional
checking.
range.
You're still.
Go touch grass.
I'm gonna clip this and post it on social media for you.
Good.
Yeah. So emotional impact. I just thought the characters were flat. I thought we didn't get emotions here. It was almost like the emotion. It's almost like they didn't even try to give us emotions either. But I'll stop talking.
I have a good feeling that Jordy rates this his highest category.
emotional impact.
Yeah. I feel like he was emotionally impacted.
Oh, I was emotionally impacted. I had tears. I was crying, but that came from y'all not letting me DNF it. But I felt anger and hatred, but that wasn't towards the book. It was towards y'all. But yeah, like it almost feels like this book went to the editor and the editor said, "We're lacking emotion here. You need to fix it." And he fixed it by saying, "These people have no emotions." Like, I mean, that's exactly what y'all said. Because there's, I don't know. I almost feel bad saying this. There's no way that this went in front of a real editor and did not come back with a ton of notes on things to fix as far as character development goes.
Look, like this is such a coin flip. Like it's like a sensation in that like people like love it or hate it. But it's like you're saying, this doesn't go through an editor and go hit these traditional points and they're like, this was great. They're like, here's what your book's lacking. And they're like, it's fine. Release it anyway. It's going to be great.
It was not great.
Chat, was it great?
It won the Hugo Award.
Yeah, so that's a 0 across the board for us.
Maybe we all should stop reading and shut down our social medias.
Maybe it is the Hugo Award for you go and read the next book.
Yikes.
Go. Anyway,
Curtis,
right.
Jump us into meaningful themes in depth. Oh, wait, we all gave it a, did we all, what do we get it? What do we rate it? I skipped a category, didn't I?
Yes. You're having just a complete stroke right now.
I'm going to delete the last 3 minutes of this video. Anyways.
Writing style and prose would be the next one if you're paying attention at home.
So we all give it a 0 on emotional impact then?
Yeah, big fat 0. Negative.
Jordy's not giving it negative points.
Oh, we can do that?
No. Not yet. We haven't decided yet that you can.
Yeah, you're just a guest.
You don't want to give me that power.
No, we haven't decided yet that. I mean, by you, I mean that we haven't yet found a book that we've given a negative to, so therefore.
No, that's a lie. I gave a negative point to something. I don't remember what it was. I'm going to have to go back and look at our stuff. There was one I was really upset with and I gave a negative thing. I also gave a positive point to something. Anyways, I'm distracted. Writing style and prose, 0.25 across the board. A quarter point.
Yeah.
And I think because the writing style did not, and this is, I feel like, more subjective, it just did not jive with me at all. The prose, I guess, fit. It was a engineering, jargony physics book, and it was a textbook with a plot, I guess. And that, it consistently did that. It just was not my style at all.
Yeah. I think we all agree on this one. And if you've watched any of this review from the last 20 minutes, you'll understand everything we have to say about the writing style and prose. Anything else to say about it, Jordy?
No, I mean, we've said it all.
Jordy just doesn't want to talk about this book anymore. He goes,
I hate this book.
Would you use this book for firewood?
Heck yeah.
Because we'd use catabasis for firewood.
There's only one book that I've read that I've disliked. 2 books that I've read that I've disliked more than this book.
Oh, this makes your bottom 3?
Yes.
What are the other 2?
Absolutely.
Unbound.
Alchemized.
Okay, Alchemized.
I remember that.
And Alice Feeney, Beautiful something. Beautiful.
You're just saying words. I don't recognize any of those words.
Beautiful Ugly.
Beautiful Ugly. Bro.
Never heard of it.
It's a thriller. I was not thrilled.
That was my biggest problem with the troop. It's like, it's a thriller, and I'm not thrilled.
I've been de-thrilled. All right, I guess we'll move on if nobody else is enjoying the right style of prose.
That's a horse that's dead, and we could keep beating it, or we could let it lie.
This whole review is just beating the shit out of this poor horse. There's no way it's getting buried. There's nothing left. We're just beating this pile of ashes.
This is one of the few where we don't have much balance. Even on books where we have a lot that we dislike, there's normally a few things that we're like, it did this really well. But that being said, that does segue us into the next category. So go ahead.
I will say, so meaningful themes in depth. I felt like they were there. I mean, I want to give this one the whole point for. I don't necessarily they weren't necessarily themes like that. I felt it's hard because it was all so dry that like it's hard to give any stock in anything. Usually themes come with like emotional impact, and there weren't any emotions there. But I mean, like you have themes of like how far like can and should humanity go, to like to progress type thing, like the whole like should we argument type thing. And there's plenty of other different like there was a lot of cultural ones, I think, especially in the beginning, like that really just didn't pertain, I guess, to me or click with me. But like a lot of the stuff with like the communist movement and everything in the beginning, I was like, okay. And I don't know. I felt like they were there. I didn't necessarily enjoy them, but they were there. So I don't know. I felt it got the point there. I'm just I don't know how to explain my thoughts.
I don't feel like they were fully explored. I liked the ideas of these themes, like you're saying, but I'm saying that it fell flat. I fell flat in that like it's the way that we say that characters, that it's kind of like all woven together, like the character development, emotional impact. That was so difficult. That's crazy. I your rating of it convinced me to raise it higher, because I was like, you're right. There were a lot of like good themes that were mentioned, but I needed to see them like fully explored, or like at least like shown through the character, like something. You just need to see more of it.
I think that was my hard part, is like I picked them out and I saw them. So I'm like, yay, they were there. This book can get more than 0 points. And then I was like, actually, I don't know if they were like done.
Yeah. I think they were there. They just didn't connect with me. So, I mean, I think I can give it credit for the themes being there, and they did explore it. They could have explored. I wouldn't have wanted to explore deeper, honestly. I don't need another thing explained, but I hated this book, man.
It's just one of those things.
I'll give it a half point.
Like if we were able to score this higher in emotional impact, I think I could have scored it higher in themes, because we could have seen like the themes explored through like the characters' emotions, or through like I just oftentimes find some of these categories so interwoven, and like themes and emotional impact, character development is one of the ways we like normally see it, and I didn't get it.
Yeah. Well, I think this leads Jordy should finish us out here with rereadability and lasting impact. How did this
Jordy said he's excited to finish the trilogy, and that's going to be one of the first trilogies that he just jumps straight into back to back to back.
I will say that it did leave a lasting impact on me. I will
just
forever remember this book, but I will not continue it. I will not reread it. I will not recommend it. I will not revisit it. I will get rid of it.
So for Christmas, honestly, when I send you this book.
I bought this book for my wife, and I read it before her and told her, please trust me, you don't want to read this. So I'll be getting rid of it.
Maybe you could do a little giveaway
right there.
and give it away to somebody you hate.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So Dakota, check in your mail in like a couple of days.
Curtis did that to me with a book that shall not be named.
I did.
You sent him Unbound?
I did. I printed it out at work and I was like, dude, look at this garbage. You could never forget this.
That's going to be like when Curtis rage buys me Atlas 6 and it's like, here you go.
She does not deserve any money from me as an author.
Buy it from a used bookstore.
I'm going to buy it from the used bookstore. I wish that when you bought it from a used bookstore, it took money away from the author and gave it to that bookstore.
It like subtracts one print. You're like,
honestly, Atlas 6, if I could take all the pages out and put them on the treadmill and line them up so that way when I'm running, I'm constantly stomping on the book, I would. I hate that book. I hate that book like twice as much as I did Three Body Problem. Like this book didn't make me angry. Atlas 6 just made me a worse person, like in general. Like I feel like part of me is gone. And I am now like if there's like a level of good and bad, and I was here, I am now here. I am like this closer to going to hell because I read that book.
Part of me is gone, he says.
Yeah.
I have a hard time saying, like, I would not recommend this book to anybody. I have a hard time not at least giving it a little butt, and the butt is that, like, a lot of people enjoy this. Same with Catabasis. My butt there is like, I didn't like it, but a lot of people enjoyed it, so maybe you'll be one of them, but I subjectively, objectively think it's a bad book.
I'm curious to check out the show, because the show is one that I have not heard bad things about. So they must Netflix it up somehow.
Because I wouldn't recommend
this book
inspired by and not based on, right? Or something about
That's
it's
what
like,
it says.
I don't know.
like not like totally following it, but like takes inspiration. So
Yeah. Like I was told it skips like the whole like front section of the book that has those past scenes. And goes straight in. I don't know. I'll watch it. I'll give it a shot.
yeah,
Can't
I'll give the
promise
show
I'll
a
finish
shot.
it, but
That's normal for you though. Jordy never finishes.
It's a Jordy problem.
It's a Jordy
All
body
right,
problem.
So we gave this a collective's average of 3.9.
wow.
That's a really good score if you're looking to get a low score.
That's almost a 2-star rating on Goodreads.
Yeah.
If we're rounding
I'm pretty
up,
sure
it's
that's
a
what
2-star
I
rating.
rated it too.
Yeah.
I'm vibrating this. If I just had to vibe it out of 5, it would be a 1.5, 2-star.
Yeah.
What can you do?
There you go.
They all
There you
can't be
have it.
winners. Yeah. There's 3 of us reading. It was the 3-reader problem, and we all hated it. So don't read this book unless you like reading textbooks in your spare time. And that's all I got. I don't really have anything quippy else to say. This book was not enjoyable.
That's really all there is for it. But thanks again for joining us, Jordy. Thanks for letting us punish. I would say thanks for letting us punish you. And we did make you finish this, but Curtis did put this on the
I
wheel.
heard good things. I wanted us to read something different, maybe a little outside of we like sci-fi, but it was a little outside of our sci-fi-ness, and I was wrong. I hope the next book we read is better, because I'm sad.
Takes a man to admit that.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, y'all. Go check out Bookmark by Jordy on Instagram and TikTok. And if you're here, you already know about us, but we are Reader Side Quest. We will chat with you guys in the next one.